Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So I have an update for the chickens in the situation that I had spoken about previously. And the update is that I've got good news and I've got good news. So there's no bad news, which is excellent because I don't know about you, but I like having good news because, I don't know, I'm just like, having to deal with what happened with the chickens and how one came up missing was certainly a huge bummer. And kind of a letdown, right? That I thought I did such a great job putting all this stuff together, thinking like, hey, we're going to be okay. We don't have to really worry about some of the issues that, other chicken owners can face. But it seems that, if you watch the other video that I was talking about, and I'll link that up here. If you watched one of the other videos, then you probably know what I'm talking about. When one of our chickens missing, we used to have a whole dozen chickens, and one of the girls kind of came up missing, unfortunately. So I went through the great lengths, and I've explained that in detail in the other video, to try and make them safe. Well, the update is that the other night I've been reviewing. Actually, it's not just it wasn't the other night. It's every day when I get up in the morning. One of the things that I do is just check the footage from our security camera that is up there on our shed. And so far I've not seen anything showing up, other than it would capture the chickens kind of wandering around, or sometimes it's like when there's a lot of wind, it would capture the trees blowing. Well, the other night when I was reviewing the footage, I noticed that typically speaking overnight, it doesn't really capture anything because at night it's dark, the chickens are in the coop, and there's not a lot of movement out here, so it doesn't really capture anything. But I noticed that around 5:30 in the morning or so, it actually did capture something. And what did it capture? A bobcat. So my neighbor was correct. There has been a bobcat that's been out here, and I caught him. When the video started, he was right about here, and you'll see it because I'm going to show you guys the surveillance video. But he started over here, kind of came out over there by the chicken coop. It looked like it was thinking about maybe jumping up on the chicken coop, but then thought better of it, or worse, kind of came out behind here. And then there was actually two videos, so it was only captured about 30 seconds or so of it wandering over here. And then you see the other one where it's kind of pacing back over here, and it's kind of like looking at the cage a little bit and kind of wandering over here until it got right over to here. And then the video kind of glitched out just a little bit, but you could see that it was like right here, right by the ground wire and the live wire. And you can't really make it out because it's night vision, but you could tell that from what I could see, it was like coming really close to here in the corner, right down here. And I think what it did was it stuck its head right in between those two and got one heck of a jolt, because the next thing you see, and you'll see it in the video, but just a blur. There's about 2 or 3 frames or so where it was just this blur and then another blur as it kind of ran off into the distance. So hopefully after it had that experience of trying to mess with our chickens, it will give up, and we will never see that thing back here again. But if it does decide to come back, I don't know, maybe it's super hungry, maybe it thought it was a fluke and it can give it another shot. But I highly suspect that when it comes over here again, it's going to get another shock, because even if there isn't any shock, I think it was really puzzled because there's no easy way into the cage anymore. Well, there wasn't an easy way in there anyways, but it still managed to, I guess, paw at one of the chickens and catch it, and was able to pull it through, because that's the only thing that makes any sense to us. But I think that we have a winner here. I think that we've successfully defended against this bobcat, and I guess it's just gonna have to go try and find some other meal somewhere else. There's plenty of rabbits around here, and I would rather not see rabbits, getting caught and eaten by, other animals, but it's kind of the cycle of life. You can have to just kind of deal with what happens, because, little bunnies are cute, and I would hate to see them, but we need our chickens. We can't have a bobcat just coming over here and swiping our chickens. So let's go ahead and review that footage, and I'll catch you guys in just a couple minutes. Okay, so as you saw from the footage, I don't think that that bobcat is going to be here. And that's assuming that it is a bobcat, because bobcats are usually more fluffy. Like they got like fluffy ears and stuff and like fluffy necks. I don't know, maybe out here they don't really look like that. I've not actually seen any bobcats in person out here, so I'm not really sure what they look like, but maybe that's just kind of what they look like out here. But be that as it may, I don't think it's going to be coming back. I really sincerely hope that it doesn't come back, and I'll be keeping an eye every night on the footage. There is just a little bit more work that I want to do on this system though. I'm thinking about adding an additional wire just a little bit higher up, just to make sure, you know, that if it does come anywhere near this thing, that it's going to be guaranteed to get a jolt. Because it's entirely possible that it might avoid just the one wire, but I think if I go up like maybe another foot and put another wire up there, that it's not going to be able to get around. And then the other thing that I need to do, after I you know, read the manual on the thing, is that I need to actually drive a ground rod properly over here in this corner, and then probably another ground rod over there in that corner, and then connect the ground to all those ground posts. Because apparently you want to have a really good pathway for the electric fence to make a good contact with the ground with anything that touches it. And this right here is probably a little bit too far from the very far corners on this thing, so it might not even get zapped if it chooses to go somewhere really far away from that ground rod. So I want to double up on that and make sure that if it does decide to come back, that it's going to guarantee to get a really good zap again. And just every time it comes out here and tries to stick its, you know, face where it doesn't belong, get a good old zap, and eventually it's going to learn. But I think that that one lesson that I just got was probably enough, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So yes, actually this is a rather quick video for a change, because I am going to go ahead and end it here. And if you like these sorts of videos, not necessarily bobcats getting shocked, but just projects around, you know, houses that have a decent amount of property, then you're in the right spot. You might want to consider subscribing, because I got a lot of projects to do. And if you like this video in particular, and I'd hope that you'd like it, because I think it's a happy ending. So if you could thumbs it up, I would also appreciate that. And if you got any comments, feel free. You know, I respond to every single comment that I have on these videos in particular, because I do get comments every now and then, but for the most part, it seems like the music videos that I make, they're the ones that seem to get a lot of comments, which is fine. But the problem is, like, some of them just have, like, you know, tens of thousands, bordering almost like 100,000 views. And when people are really enjoying those videos and drop a comment, you know, at the very least I read it and I'll thumbs it up and, like, you know, put my little, you know, heart thing for the channel to let you know that I actually did read it. I don't subscribe to every single one of them, just because, again, you know, it's like some of them are just like, hey, great video, you know, every now and then I'll say thanks or whatever, but sometimes, you know, there's just too many comments to keep up with on some of those videos. I would love it if I got to that point on these sorts of projects for this channel, because I really enjoy making these sorts of videos where, you know, share some of the work that I'm doing around here. Just maybe it'll stoke some ideas for you guys. If you have any ideas that you derive from some of the work that I've done, that'd be awesome. I'd love to hear about, like, some of the projects that you guys got going on too, because I watch them. I watch all kinds of, you know, project videos that are either like this or some of the other ones. I don't know what it is, but I went down this rabbit hole of watching, like, drainage videos for people that have problems with water on their properties. And as somebody who has experienced that, I can kind of relate. So it's kind of interesting to see some of the solutions that people come up with, especially the pros that do it for a living. So it's really informative, and I don't know what, I just get a kick out of seeing some of the projects that they do. Anyways, really appreciate you guys stopping by, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.